Hey guys, how you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. I'm David Mathis. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. It has been tremendous. This growth of the channel has been wonderful, and let's keep it going, okay? Don't forget to hit that like button, and please subscribe and share if you guys are enjoying the content. Today I want to talk about a topic that I think kind of gets misunderstood a little bit, and I think it kind of is used as a scapegoat in a way for some people, and that is overtraining. Now, you hear it all the time, you have to watch your volume, you don't want to overtrain, overtraining can be detrimental for you, and it can, okay? I'm not denying that at all. However, I think that people use that as sort of a scapegoat to not train as hard, okay? Training hard is hard, okay? It takes a few crazy sons of bitches like us out there that actually really enjoy pushing themselves to that limit. And a lot of people out there, I think especially who aren't really passionate about bodybuilding, like they enjoy working out, they want to look good, they want to feel good, all that stuff. I don't think they really understand how much more they can push themselves if they really wanted to. And that's everybody's individual choice, right? If you just want to go in and work out and be healthy and stuff, that's great, that's fine. If you want to be a bodybuilder, male or female, you need to go in and you need to push yourself, and you need to learn that you have a next level, right? You have another level that you probably don't even realize, right? And you can tell that because when you go and train with people, they usually make you push a little bit harder, right? It doesn't matter how much you think that you are pushing yourself in the gym. You could always push yourself a little bit harder with somebody else, okay? Now, I think where the problem with overtraining comes in is that there's so much misinformation out there. Now, people take signs and symptoms like lethargy, disinterest in training, elevated heart rate, sleep issues, all this stuff as signs of overtraining. When in reality, yes, those can be signs of overtraining, but they're also signs of many other things that go on in our lives, right? Most of us are not singularly focused on bodybuilding, okay? That's not our job. We don't get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to bodybuild. We have other stressors in our lives, right? We can't just go to the gym, come home, eat, sleep, maybe go back for another session later on. That's not reality for most people. So you have to deal with things like work stress, family stress, bills, obligations around the house, responsibilities around your house. You have all these other factors that come into play that can, give you these other symptoms. They can make you tired. They can make you kind of disinterested in your training because you got so much on your mind. Your stress levels go up. You have an elevated heart rate. Your mind's constantly running. You have sleep issues. All of those things don't necessarily mean that you're overtraining, right? I see a lot of people going to the gym and they have this program, right? They have this perfectly laid out program, and I write programs too. But the general ones are kind of like, 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 12, 4 sets of 10, blah, 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 all this stuff. And people just don't really understand how to push themselves, and they think that they can't do more or they're going to overtrain. When in reality, guys, you think about professional athletes, you think about Olympic athletes, you think about all these people that get paid to be physical and perform. And they're practicing multiple times a day. Hard, right? How many times do you ever really hear about, JJ Watt or Kobe Bryant suffering from, overtraining syndrome? They don't. And I know the argument. I know what you're saying right now. Oh, but they have the best trainers. They have the best nutrition. They have all this stuff. Maybe, but they don't have anything different that you can't do. They just have somebody else doing it for them. Right? You can manage your nutrition. You can manage your sleep and recovery. You can manage, your training as far as stretching beforehand, making sure you're doing proper warm-ups, proper cool-downs. There's a lot of things that you can do that these professional athletes do as well, and they train more. So what kills me is people that go into the gym and they're like, on my program, I have 4 sets of 10, right? But they don't know how to pick the weight. They don't understand how many reps in reserve that you need to have. They don't understand that it's okay if you're feeling a little bit frisky that day. If you want to do an extra set, you want to push it a little bit harder. don't be afraid to deviate off your plan sometimes. I think that, overtraining has been drilled into our minds so much that people are afraid to train hard. And that's not necessarily the person, the exerciser, the trainee, you. It's not necessarily your fault because you've been given so much misinformation. Getting to overtraining syndrome is a very, very difficult position to get to. Yeah, I know the definition, decrease in performance, fatigue, all this stuff. Those are common symptoms. But when in reality, true overtraining comes when you have a systematic shutdown, right? You have your kidneys are shutting down, other bodily functions are shutting down. You're not having bowel movements. Your body is so stressed to the point where symptoms or systems in the body are starting not to work. Being tired, being depressed every now and then, having an elevated heart rate, being stressed, that's all part of being a human. That's all part of being life. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're training too hard, okay? I actually think that this fear that people have got in their heads from social media influencers and not understanding research data well enough, this fear of overtraining possibly setting in has actually caused people to not train hard enough. And we see plateaus in your training. We see, all this stuff, no progress after years and years. And it's because you think you're training hard, but when in reality, you can go another level or two, and you might start seeing some better progress later on. People talk about with overtraining, overuse injuries, right? You start getting elbow tendonitis, shoulder tendonitis. Overuse injuries tend to occur as we start to age, no matter what, because it's just part of the natural aging process. And if you do repetitive actions over and over, it's eventually going to get that way. I'm 35, okay? My body's not the same as it was when I was 21, 22, 23. Things happen over the natural course of a lifetime. I think that the reason that most people get injured is not because they're overtraining, they're doing too much volume. It's because they're not performing the exercise correctly. They're not performing the movement technically correct. It only takes one bad set, one set with improper form to completely fuck you up for a month, 2 months, a year, even years. It only takes that one set. It doesn't mean that you can do 15 sets of good form and everything, and yeah, you might be tired. You're gonna cause a stimulus. If your nutrition is on point, you're gonna start to grow. If your rest and recovery is on point, you're gonna start to grow. But it only takes that one bad set, that one technically, improper set to just completely fuck up your shoulder, your bicep, your elbow, your knees, your hips for months on end, even years. So you can't blame overtraining for that. You got to blame improper form. So I just want to make this point clear during this video, guys. Overtraining is a thing. I'm not sitting here denying that overtraining can occur. I think it's very hard to get to that place, especially if you're just a regular gym goer, okay? Professional athletes don't usually even get to that point. Now, yes, they focus on their rest and recovery. They focus on their nutrition, which that is a huge component of it. I'm not going to deny it, right? You have to have all those things in place in order to train hard. My point being is, I think a lot of people hold themselves back in the gym because of this fear of overtraining, when in reality, they're not training hard enough to ever get to that point. So just examine your training, be honest with yourself, be objective with yourself, and know, can I take this to the next level? Is my nutrition and rest and recovery going to support this extra effort in the gym? How has my progress been to this point on the plan that I'm actually doing, right? Am I doing one of those plans that says, 3x12 and I'm stopping at that? Most training templates are just that. They're guidelines, right? Because when coaches are trying to coach someone, especially online, they're not there with them in person. There's a lot of factors that go into reading how a client is going to perform that day, how they walk into the gym, how they slept the night before, what they ate beforehand, what's going on in their personal life. So a lot of these plans that you get, unless one is specifically tailored, like if you're doing a powerlifting peaking program, or you're working with somebody that is specifically writing one for your needs, if you just get these general templates, that's what they are. They're general. right? So you have to be able to be a little bit flexible with them. You need to be able to adjust a little bit. This is why keeping log books is very, very important, because you need to understand, this is how I was feeling this day. This is what I did on this exercise. This is how I felt after, okay? Detailed reports are what's gonna help you in the long run. So overtraining is a thing. I think too many people use it as a scapegoat to not train hard enough, and that's why they stall in their progress. But guys, you have a next level to you, okay? As long as you're keeping your nutrition, your rest and recovery on point, and you're being smart with technical form, don't be afraid of pushing it a little bit harder in the gym, okay? And keep that data on yourself. See how your appetite's affected the next day. See how your sleep's affected the next day. See how your mood is, all these things, because all of that plays a factor into it. But just don't be afraid to train hard, okay? Hope this helped a little bit, guys. If you guys have any questions about overtraining, about nutrition, about coaching in general, please leave a comment in the comment section below or reach out to me. You can find me at Mathis Fitness on Instagram. I have a website, www.coachdavidmathis.com. And you can reach out to me, David at BioLane, for any coaching inquiries. You guys have a great day. Go out there, get some training in, push yourselves, see what you got, all right? Keep a logbook, keep some notes. I'll be back next time with another video.